G'day folks, Ben from Snowies here today showing you how to set up and pack away these inspired overland lightweight carbon fibre rooftop tents.
Hit it.
This lightweight tent's got strengthened gas struts for a simple setup, features an easy to pack away self-inflating mattress and comes with a protective cover for protection if you're driving through low branches or if it's just for transit and storage. Before we dive into this product, there is loads more content like this on our YouTube channel, so make sure you like and subscribe and you'll get notified of all of our latest content. Now let's jump in. We are down here in the car park at Snowies HQ. I've got the Inspired Overland lightweight carbon fibre rooftop tent installed on top of my vehicle here with its cover on. I'm showing you how to set it up and pack it away today. Now this tent weighs 36 kilos. The ladder's extra, around about 6 kilos extra for the ladder, but what's on top of the roof there at the moment is 36 kilos. It measures about 220 centimetres from end to end and about 130 centimetres in width, and it's about 12 centimetres in height. Less than really is what I measure, but it bulges out a little bit on top. Now it comes with this protective cover that you can put over for protection in storage if you like, or if you're driving around areas where there's low level trees and branches and you don't want to scratch the carbon fibre panel on top, you can put this over the top. It might flap around a little for a lot of highway driving, but it is there if you want to use it. Now to remove these, we remove the Velcro tab here, it's attached to the top. Release the tri-glide buckle here to give us some slack in the strap, and then this little stainless steel clip just clips in underneath here. So we've got 2 of these across the back and 3 down one side. We release all these and then we can peel this off. This fits like a fitted sheet basically once these straps are undone. So if I remove this one, I'll show you on the corner here that you've got an elastic element to it like this that just fits over the rooftop tent. I'll peel this off and put this in the back of the car, and then we can move on to setting up the actual shelter. So we just unhook all of those and gently pull this off, just being careful that none of the hooks get caught and try not to damage our car or the rooftop tent as we pull it off. And then we'll put this cover somewhere safe. If it's windy, put it in the back of the car. I'm just going to put it down here for now. Next step is these latches here. Now these operate really neatly. They won't undo until I release this pin here. So if I pull this pin out and flick that up, the clip is released. It's not come off completely yet. There's a bit of pressure pushing that up. To get that off, pull down a little and just push up on that section there till it comes loose. Now do this on each side. You can see, because it's a lightweight tent, this is bowing a little bit with the fabric pushing up inside. Do it on the other side and then we'll do the back 2 latches last. Now the rear of the rooftop tent, 2 more latches here, same deal. Pull the pin, release that and then take them off. It won't go all the way up when we release this, so twist a little bit here. Release this one as well. A little bit of down pressure. Release that, it sits like so. Now just a little nudge on the top here and that automatically opens. You've got the strap here, just watch it doesn't get caught, but this is here for pack up and set down so you can pull it down again afterwards. The struts on here are strong enough to hold that open. They're strengthened struts so that it sits open by itself. Now you've got an elastic strap that sits around here that pulls all the fabric in when you pack it away. Just pull that down and just sort of loop it down around here somewhere so you can grab it again easily afterwards. If you loop it underneath here and then over the top of these latches, it doesn't go missing. And from here, you can set up this awning. This sits out over here, so there's a couple of poles, flexible poles inside here that we need to take out of this bag. And these sit in this little aluminium block here. Just slide one end in there. They're pre-bent, and then just flex this up and put the hook through the grommet on the awning here. We do the same thing on the other side, and then we've got a protective cover over the end of the rooftop tent. Once that's flexed out like that, you can see this is set up. We do have a PVC window here. If you wanted to open that up, you've got this Velcro panel on the top. You'd probably want to roll that up while you're at this end of the tent here, or before you put these in. It'd be easy to access it, but that just lets a little bit more light in. I'll leave this hanging here. You could throw it over the back if you like, but that's just going to hang there ready for pack down. Now you do have boot bags that are included. I've got them attached here and just tucked inside. These attach in multiple spots. So I've got this one attached here. I've got buckles here that I could attach it if you like, and I've got another one on this side. This is also mirrored on the other side, so 4 different attachment points that you can put these boot bags on just with these side release buckles, so that just adds for a little bit of storage. So the rooftop tent mostly set up. A couple of little things to do. Firstly, the ladder. I've got the ladder sitting here. The ladder doesn't pack up inside, goes in the back of my car. This is secured with a Velcro strap on here, so lengthen this all the way out to use it. And then when you put it on, you've got these little U-clips here, and they line up with these brackets here. These brackets feature on the other side and the rear as well. How I've mounted it on my vehicle and the orientation of my vehicle means I can only use the ones on this side. So attach this on here, and you can see the ladder's probably at a bit much of an angle there. If you need to shorten it, do it from the top so that when you step on this, The weight is on the ladder at the bottom here. If we shorten it from the bottom, it pulls down on the rooftop tent rather than the ladder. So shorten that section there, my ladder's attached. We'll crawl inside and talk about the last few bits in there. The first thing when you come in here is this little Velcro or this elastic strap here, which is just here to pull the fabric in on the sides as you pack it away to minimize the amount of fabric that's hanging out the side. So take that off, pack it away in one of the storage pockets if you like, or just leave it hanging on the side. It can go in one of these. Once you're inside, you can adjust the doors and windows to your liking. So you've got a solid and a mesh panel on each side here. So you can either zip these up, or you've got these little tabs here that you can roll it up and secure it on the sides if you're not using it. There's tabs for both the mesh and the solid panels. I'm just going to push this down out at the side for now while I demonstrate the other things inside. You've got the same deal with the door on this end here. Mesh and solid panels there that you can have whatever you like. If it's bad weather, zip it right closed. If you want the ventilation, just use the mesh. The last thing to talk about for setup is the mat. So this is a self-inflating mat. It does pack up with this mat inside. This is in a deflated mode at the moment, so it's got foam inside here, and you get these two valves here for inflation and deflation. These can just flick around to inflate mode or deflate mode, depending on what stage of camp you're at, and then you can seal it up completely here as well if you like. Now, I'm going to put this into deflate mode at the moment on both of these valves, because what I want to do is squeeze some air out to show you how you can pack it up with this and some sleeping bags inside. But before I do that, just having a quick look underneath, anti-condensation mat there that adds a little bit of padding too. And then you've got the rails underneath. So putting a bit of extra pressure in this mat means you can adjust the comfort inside here to suit exactly what you're after. Now, if I go to pack this tent up, because we've set the tent up now, so we'll move into pack up mode now, and I'll show you how I can pack that up. Now, I could just put the elastics back in place that we had before and pack this up, and it squishes down with the mat in deflated mode quite easily. You won't be able to pack it up with the mat inflated, so you do need to deflate it. On top of that, if you go one step further and deflate the mat a little bit, you can leave sleeping bags in here. Best way to do that is if you've got a 12-volt pump or any pump that can actually suck the air out of this mat, because you're then gaining 4 or 5 centimeters of extra space to suck the air out, and then you can leave sleeping bags and probably pillows in here as well. I found that you can squish this mat down a little bit, so I'm going to do it the hard way around to show you that it's still not really that hard. Chuck a couple of bulky sleeping bags in here and pack it up with the sleeping bags inside so you can see how that will work. So to do that, reach down the foot end of the tent here and just roll this up a little bit. Now, the reason I'm staying on the mat is because the nature of the rails here makes it uncomfortable to actually stand underneath the mat here. So I'll stay on the mat and just sort of pack up half of it. So as I'm leaning on this, I can hear the air escaping out of the valves at the back here. So I'm not looking to roll this up all the way. I'm just looking to squeeze some of the air out of this. So I'll sit on this just as you would a regular camping mat in a tent. And you'd only do this if you actually want to leave your sleeping bags up inside here. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of air out of here. Then I'm going to come to the valves at the end here, and I'm just going to seal them up so the air doesn't come back inside. So I'll seal that. I've only squeezed probably 30% of the air out of this, maybe not more than 50. Seal that up and then unroll this. So I've now just compress that mat down a little bit from where it was. What I'm going to do now is grab a couple of sleeping bags. They're bulky cotton canvas sleeping bags. Lay them in here and we'll pack it up just to show you that you can leave a couple of sleeping bags inside here for transport. Now, when you put the sleeping bags in, well, when you're going to pack it up, just try and maybe stack most of the fabric at this end of the tent, because it's going to pinch down easier at that end than it is trying to squash it down at this end. So I'll put these in, squash them up there, and I'm just going to step down on the ladder here because we also need to leave them laid in there, push right up that end there. So I've got this gap up this end here. It's just going to make squashing down this end of the tent a little bit easier. Grab the doors and just lay them inside like this, lay them flat. I find laying it flat makes it a bit easier to pack up because you don't have sort of large kind of sausages of fabric down each side. And this can just stay closed, like, I've got the mesh closed, the outer panel is down. I won't zip the outer panel up, and you don't want to zip the doors up on the side because as you pull it down, you need to allow all the air to escape. So leave as many doors open as you can. Before we step out though, one last thing is to put our little elastic strap back in place here. So just clip that through the loop on each side there. That just creates a bit of tension across here, and pull the fabrics inside the edges of the frame and allow pack up much easier. Just a couple more things before we collapse the top down. Firstly, we've got to take our little awning down here. So remove the lugs out of the poles here. These are spring loaded, so just be careful as you take them off. We're now in a little bag, so you probably do need to leave the bottom of this panel open also to tuck our boot bags into. So grab our bag to put the poles inside of, do that on the other side, and then we've got to remember to tuck these inside as well before we pack it away too. Next step is to grab our little elastic here and put it around all the loose fabric up here. So as high as you can to pull all that fabric in. We need to keep this strap on the outside of that. We're now ready to collapse it down. So as we pull on this, the elastic's going to do its work to pull all the elastic in, or the fabric, sorry, inside of the tent. You can see at the far end there, our internal elastic is starting to loosen now, but it's just pulling the fabric inside the edges. It doesn't get all of it inside. We will need to go around and just tuck a bit of fabric in around the edges. Once we're down to this point, we can tuck our strap in underneath here. And what we want to do is just get to the first point of being able to latch these latches closed, not all the way. So undo this and just leave it at that point there. Do the same on the other side and the same on each side, and then we're going to go around and tackle the fabric in to make sure it's all secure before we latch it all the way down. So that's the rooftop tent packed up. These are all latched in place. We could drive with it like this, take the ladder off, and that's ready to drive as it is. We can pack the ladder up nice and easily. They've got little latches on each section here. Push these in and each of these collapses down for transport. Elastic strap on the bottom there to secure it all. Throw it in the back of the car and you're good to go. If you want to put the protective cover over the top, if you're driving through low-level branches or you just want to for protection, you can do so. So to do that, the first thing we want to do, we gently throw the cover over the top of the rooftop tent, just being careful such that the metal clips don't damage the carbon fiber panel on top. It stretches out just like a fitted sheet, so pull that over the corners. Then these metal clips sit in underneath the aluminium frame around the edge. It's got a tri-glide buckle to tighten up the strap and Velcro patches just to keep the loose ends tidy. And that is it all packed away. So I would leave this on here if we're driving around in low trees or anything that's going to scratch it up. But perhaps if you just got it in storage, you want to keep it out of the sun. I haven't tried it in highway driving. It might vibrate around a little bit, but it does come with the tent. You don't have to use it, but it's there if you need it. So that's all packed away. The last thing we want to do is pack the ladder away. That just underhooks here. We push each of these latches here and all of these sections collapse down. I can put this inside the bag, throw it in the back of the car, and we are good to go. That's how to set up and pack away the Inspired Overland lightweight carbon fiber rooftop tent. It's only 36 kilos, easy to pack up, low profile when it's on your vehicle. So it saves on weight, saves on the total weight of your car, saves on your fuel bills as well. Check these out online at snowies.com.au.